Welcome back. In this episode, we're going to do some quick lighting setup. So to start this off, we're going to click on here, and this is just the render settings, and under render using Maya, we're going to switch to Mental Ray. If Mental Ray doesn't show up, go into your window, settings and preferences, plugin manager, and you'll have a whole list of plugins here. Scroll down to, let's see, where is it? The Mental Ray plugin. You'll see here, Files, Programs, Mental Ray. And just make sure this is set to loaded, auto load, and then close, and then check again, and it should show up. So once that's there, we're going to go over to Scene, and I'm going to do Create Physical Sun and Sky. Click that, and now nothing happened. But let's turn on lighting. Aha! Let's turn on shadows. Aha! So now we have shadows and light. Where is our sun, you might ask? Let's click over here on our let me close this and click on here for our outliner. Scroll down, and there's our sun direction. So let's hit F. It's hidden kind of under here. So now I can just kind of turn this and come up with a basic lighting. You're not going to get the best results in this view here, but if you do hit, click on this scene here and then just click render, it'll do a quick render for us. And let me pull it over, and here's our quick render. So you can see that this is not actually light there, but here's how it would actually turn out. And remember I put that extra one of these guys over on the left there? I'm using that to cast a shadow across the whole scene just to kind of break up that area. So if I put this back over here, and we can look over here, and here's our big shape. And maybe I want to move it over a little bit so it's cast across there. Or perhaps I want to move this so it kind of does this. We can have the shadow either like, maybe the shadow cast across the house like that. That might be kind of cool, like right across the door. Or maybe we have a lower setting. Could put the sun even lower. It's a little hard to kind of work with this, but I'll make it a little bit bigger. And then, yeah. And we could go over here, grab this guy, and be like, oh, I want to make it narrower so it doesn't affect as much of an area. Or higher or lower. Pretty much anything you want. I kind of like it like that. So if we click in here again, bring our render view over. If it's rendering from the wrong scene, if you have this closed, make sure you click the window you want to render, close the render out, open back up, and then hit render. And it should render to the proper scene. So there's, since I did the sun and sky, that's giving me kind of like a lower sunset kind of look to it. So we could go with something like that if we wanted, kind of blues and yellows. It's a pretty cool look. Since the sun sets so low, it automatically is choosing those colors for me. Let's try a little higher. You notice a soft shadow across there. Go a little higher and do a little bit of the shadow. Click over here, hit render. And this is kind of just the test of, setting renders up, figuring out how and where I want my lighting to be. Remember I had like a little campfire? I might actually include that again at some point, and that'll kind of break up that lighting area there as well. I had some other stones and rocks, and I could place those now, or yeah, like I could actually, let's see, there was that one that's kind of up closer. Maybe we'll place that now. It's like right around here, but it's really flat. Just flatten this guy out. Lower it down, and just sort of put it right in the ground here. Have it sort of right across. Maybe I'll make this a lot wider. And then just scroll this down. There we go. It's a good basic shape. Pull it up a little bit. Oops, got a verts. I'll get those pulled down. Yeah, now if we look at this render over here, click render. Remember I chose that really small resolution. Once we actually want to do a full render, I can just add some zeros to the end of that resolution. That'll give me a nice idea of what I actually want. And it's looking pretty good. You can want to keep an eye out for some tangents and things like that right now too. I do notice that I think I want to put this over a little bit more. Kind of looking at the composition, I just want it a little further away. Maybe even a little smaller too. That's a good basic setup though. And I could grab some more of these and just duplicate them and kind of consider these like little rocks poking up here and there. And these don't have to be that precise in placement or anything really. I just wanted to kind of help me show the ground receding back a little. And maybe another one, just duplicate that over here, spin it a little bit. I don't really need to model like 1 or 2 rocks and just throw them here and there. And the rest you can just paint in at your leisure. Though I did have, right over here, I think I actually had a rock kind of, let's pull this one up a little bit. I'm going to go to edges, double click that edge, double click that one. We're going to make that a little bit more like this. Same with this one. And you'll see the second one doing. There was sort of that rock right over here on this wall. Just about right there. That's pretty close to what I wanted. Scale this up just a tiny bit more. Maybe hit B, scale this down, pull it over. So I keep refining the scene as I go. And now if I do a render, let's take a look at it. We'll have a few extra little additions to the scene. It's a little closer to our original. If we go back in here and Control H, bring it back in. And wireframe on, you can kind of see this is that piece that I was just placing there. And I might actually, maybe I'll even bring it up a little bit further. Twist it a little bit, bring it up. I'm kind of using, see I'm using the edge there to kind of line things up. And one thing I noticed, this looks like it's getting a little flat right in this area, so maybe I'll even go back in and edit some of the ground a little bit, have piece of the ground going up and down and things like that. But everything's looking pretty nice. Like you can see the house, getting a nice render on the house and everything like that. This is pretty cool. I like that dark shadow coming across. I would like to see a little more ground over here, perhaps not in shadow, but I think that's overall that's a pretty good render. We got a nice highlight on this edge of this big rock back here, though maybe that would look better if we turned it a little bit. We could try that. So I'm actually going to hide this again. Oops. Thought I hit it. There we go. Hide that. Go back into our solid view. Turn lighting on. Okay. I'm gonna move that out of the way a little bit. And one thing I was looking at, I kind of want the ground to be a little bit, I don't know, maybe if it just comes up a little bit behind this area, like right here. That might look kind of cool. I'll pull this view back in. Almost like a second layer. But let's expand this out like that. And I'm gonna do another smoothing. Where is it? Mesh, smooth. Another one is a G. I'm gonna grab just this area here and make it a little less inorganic looking. I want it to have more of an organic feel. Let's pull it up a little bit. Let's hit render again, see what that gives us. Gives us a little bit more. Yeah, see, I wanted that little plane kind of pulling up behind this rock. I think that looks a little bit better. Let me do it a little bit more. What happened there? There we go. I could even come in here and add a little bit of, let's turn down our displacement stuff, turn brush size up a little bit. Basically just go in here, add some more variation to this. There we go. Hit render. Let's see what that gives us. Might give us a little more interesting. Yeah, see, it's giving us a little more interesting shadows and things. Grounds look a little more interesting. It gives me a lot more to work with when I start painting. My only concern is kind of this, the way this building right here sort of notches into there, and we could fix that by, we could take this, we could lower it down, have it be really simple, or raise it up and be a little more shaped like that perhaps. And I want this edge maybe to turn towards me a little bit more, so let's actually expand this edge out a bit. Let's see how we do this. Maybe like that. Maybe if we grab this edge along here, let's do that. And let's hit the render. And there, that gave us a much better face. So I want a little more. So I'm actually gonna grab this edge, pull this out, grab this one. I'm gonna bevel these edges again. And you'll see when I bevel them, they should react to the light a little differently. I could show you before and after, perhaps. Let's do the render. So we're catching that light, but see how we could make the edge hard, but I don't want it to be completely hard. So I'm gonna go in here, turn these tools on again, move this out of the way, hit bevel. It's a little funky down here. I wonder why I did that. Let's just grab these. We're getting a little bit of a glitch down here. I'm not sure why. Maybe there's like, if we just separate that out a bit. There we go. That fixed that. And this one we just want to do there. And I'm going to move these lines, just vert up so it's not so hectic looking. It's a bit sloppy. So we're going to hit render now and see how it looks. There, see, with those bevels, the light's starting to catch inside that crack a little bit better, giving me a little more information and looking a little more interesting. And we could add some more of these in here, perhaps. Perhaps we'd take here and just like cut this in. I don't think this is even in view. We could add some stuff like this though. Let's see how that looks. Didn't really change too much, but I think that's probably a good enough start. We're getting some nice separation here. That's a little confusing here, but we can move this over a bit perhaps. Maybe scale it up a bit. I could do a lot of different things. But yeah, so I think that's a good start for now. Let's do one more quick render. And yeah, in the next episode, we'll focus on taking on some materials, doing basic materials and everything like that. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. If you really liked it, subscribe, and make sure and leave a comment below, and I'd love to hear what everyone thinks. And maybe let me know what your project you're working on is. Okay, take care. Bye.